There's a tension in learning to read music that most teachers never explicitly name. And because it never gets named, students don't know how to navigate it. On one hand, you need to be accurate, the right note, the right rhythm, the right fingering. On the other hand, you need to be fluent, reading forward, keeping momentum, not stopping every time something is uncertain. And here's the thing, those two goals can feel like they're pulling in opposite directions. If you stop to get everything exactly right, the music falls apart. But if you keep moving to maintain flow, you risk encoding mistakes. So, which one do you prioritize? The answer is both, at every stage. And understanding how they work together and what each one is actually for changes everything about how you practice. This relationship between accuracy and fluency shows up in language learning too. And I think the parallel is worth understanding because it makes something abstract very concrete. When someone is learning a second language, teachers make a deliberate distinction between accuracy work and fluency work. They're not the same activity and they're not interchangeable. Accuracy work is where you slow down and get things right. Things like grammar exercises, pronunciation drills, correcting errors deliberately. The goal is precision. You're building the correct forms so they become available to use. Fluency work is where you practice using the language at speed, even imperfectly. Conversations, reading passages, speaking without stopping to check every word. The goal is flow. You're training your brain to retrieve and deploy what it knows without grinding to a halt. Neither one alone produces a competent language user. Someone who only does accuracy work can conjugate verbs perfectly on paper, but freezes up in a real conversation. Someone who only does fluency work develops confidence, but cements errors that become harder to undo the longer they go uncorrected. The most effective language instruction moves deliberately between the two, using accuracy work to build the right patterns and fluency work to make those patterns available in real time. Piano reading works exactly the same way. In music reading, accuracy work looks like this: slowing down enough that every note, every rhythm, every interval is consciously and correctly identified. You're not just playing, you're verifying. This note is a G. This interval is a third going down. This rhythm is a dotted quarter followed by an eighth. You know what you're playing and why. This is where correct patterns get encoded. If you skip this stage, if you move too fast before the patterns are right, you encode the wrong thing. And fluency on top of inaccuracy is one of the hardest problems to undo. Fluency work looks different. You keep moving. You read forward. You don't stop when something is uncertain. You make your best attempt. Register that something felt off, and that's the important part. And then continue. The goal is to train your eyes to stay ahead of your hands, to build the momentum that real sight reading requires, and to experience what it feels like when the reading system runs as a whole rather than as a series of individual decisions. Both are happening in my studio at every stage of a student's development, not one, then the other, both in deliberate rotation. Here's why I emphasize that both are needed at every stage, not just at the beginning. A beginner needs accuracy work to build the correct note recognition, and fluency work to start experiencing what forward momentum feels like, even at a very simple level. Without some fluency practice early on, students develop a habit of stopping, and that habit calcifies quickly. An intermediate student needs accuracy work when a new key signature, a new rhythmic pattern, or a new hand position is introduced, because those are new patterns that haven't been encoded correctly yet. And they need fluency work to practice integrating what they know into a continuous reading experience. An advanced student still needs both. Even experienced players will encounter passages that require slow, deliberate accuracy work before they can be read fluently. And even beginners can have fluency moments, reading simple patterns forward without stopping. that build the neural pathways for automatic processing. The level changes, but the need for both never does. In practice, here's how I move between accuracy and fluency work with a student. When I see a student stopping repeatedly at the same spot, analyzing the same note, hesitating on the same interval, that's a signal that accuracy work is needed there. We slow down, we isolate, we make sure the pattern is correct before we repeat it, because repeating an uncertain pattern does not build fluency. It builds a habit of uncertainty and in all likelihood probably embeds mistakes. When I see a student reading carefully but never building momentum, always starting over, always correcting in the moment, never getting the experience of reading forward, that's a signal that fluency work is needed. I'll ask them to keep going regardless of what happens. Don't stop. Read forward. Let the music move. We'll come back and address errors in accuracy mode afterward. The key is knowing which mode the student needs in any given moment. And that's a diagnostic decision. It depends on what skill is being worked on, how well established it is, and what the student's current pattern of errors is telling me. This is also why I'm not a fan of the advice to simply practice slowly. Slow practice is accuracy work, and it's essential. It absolutely has a place, but it's only half of what reading development requires. A student who only ever practices slowly never builds the forward reading reflex that fluent sight reading depends on. When accuracy and fluency are developed together, a student has both the correct patterns and the ability to deploy them in real time. Something shifts. Reading stops feeling like a series of individual decisions, and it starts feeling like comprehension. The notes on the page begin to mean something as a whole rather than as a sequence of problems to solve one at a time. That's the same shift that happens when a language learner stops translating in their head and starts thinking directly in the new language. It's not a different skill. It's the same skills finally working together at speed. That's what we're building, and it requires both accuracy and fluency at every stage in deliberate balance. If you've ever felt like your reading is careful but slow, or fast but unreliable, now you know why. You're likely getting a lot of one and not enough of the other. And the fix isn't complicated. The next time you sit down and practice, ask yourself which mode you're in. Are you slowing down to get something right, or are you practicing keeping the music moving? Both are valid and both are necessary, but doing them intentionally with a clear sense of which one you're choosing and why is completely different from just playing through a piece and hoping something improves. That shift from practicing unconsciously to practicing with a clear purpose is where real progress lives. If you want help figuring out exactly where your reading system has gaps, the link to the reading assessment is below. It's the fastest way to know which of these two things your practice has been missing. I'll see you in the next one.